All right. I am super excited, super honored to have Jaeden Schafer here on the Move Happy Movement podcast. Thanks so much for taking the time today.
Super awesome to be here.
We had this great call last week. I always love to tell my audience, how I connect with people. And I received an email from you or your team about this really cool app. And at first I was like, okay, cool, an app, like, all right, but something told me to look it up on the app store, just something within my spirit. And I was like, all right, I'm going to look it up. And then I'm like, hold on. It's been featured on Fox News, NBC, Digital Journal, ABC, CBS. Like, what? Who is this person? I need to connect with this person. And then you and I talked on the phone, and I just knew after hearing your story with your wife and whatnot. And we'll get into the specifics of the app in a little bit, but I loved your story. And I was like, yes, please, I have to have you on my show. People need to hear your story and your wife's story and just the powerful impact you guys are doing on affirmations and just helping transform the world. So thank you. Thank you for what you're doing.
Well, I'm super happy to be on here. I'm also on here on behalf of my wife. She's sick, otherwise she would love
Yeah.
us today. But we're super happy that you you looked it up, and like you were saying that this is something that's made such an amazing impact on so many people. So we're super happy.
Yeah. So let's go back in time a little bit. So let's go to what Jaeden was as a little boy.
So growing up, I'm actually originally from Vancouver Island in Canada. So,
nice.
Vancouver, right by Seattle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I grew up there for my whole life and was surrounded by trees and nature. And that part of the world is very, farmers markets and everything's organic, and everyone's really big on yoga and all that kind of stuff. So I have really good examples and bits of culture that I felt like helped contribute. But one thing that was really big for me growing up was my dad is an entrepreneur, and he was always a really big proponent of goal setting. And my mom was a really big proponent of affirmations and kind of meditation and that whole thing.
Wow.
And so, growing up, that was always a really big thing. My family, every single year, we would, sit down and we'd create a vision board. Ones and ones for our family, where we'd go get tons of magazines, cut out pictures and put them all over there of all the things we wanted to.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So this whole this setting, visualizing, affirmations is like really integrated in my life. And it's amazing because I definitely have a really strong belief in the power of them.
Yes.
A lot of times it's been cool. I found at my house, if I visit for Christmas or something, I'll go down in the attic or in the crawl space and find my old pile of boxes and stuff. And I have a bunch of my vision boards there. It's cool looking at all the pictures there and thinking about what I have accomplished, since creating those.
Oh my gosh, I want to see those. It's so neat.
It's really cool. Awesome. My family has been doing it for a long time. A really big story or big thing that we did, I would say, in regard to those vision boards is our whole life, we'd always wanted to do a big sailing trip. So my mom had been sailing when she was a kid with her family, and a lot of stories. So we'd always wanted to do a big sailing trip. So one year we decided on our vision board, we're going to put a big picture of a catamaran and all these tropicals we wanted to go sail to. And, it seemed like a far off dream, but a couple years later, myself and my sister were about to go off to college. We're getting older, and we realized that if we wanted to ever do this legendary sail trip we'd always talked about, it'd happen pretty soon. And so
do it now.
We brought up the vision board. We're like, look, we put this on here a long time ago. And so we made it happen in the matter of a few months. My dad got a manager for his business. We rented our house out. We packed all the stuff into a storage container. We bought a sailboat in San Francisco, and we went sailing for a whole year. We visited all the islands.
Oh my goodness, I just got goosebumps. That is so cool.
Ask us about it. We put back to the vision board. We're like, just if you have a goal, hard or impossible, put it on a vision board, because I'll tell you, there was miracles and mountain moving involved in that whole trip. We made it happen.
That is so cool. What comes to mind is and the children shall lead them. That's really when because you went to your parents, right? You and your sister. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I wish that I would have known about vision boards as a kid. I first was introduced like in 2015. So not even that long ago. So how neat is that? Okay. So you go on this trip as a family, and then how did you get to the States then? Like, was that in college or was that later on?
Yeah, so that was when I was about 17.
Okay.
Then I went and lived in France for a couple years doing like a volunteer service thing.
Ooh.
After that, I went to school in Hawaii, and that's where I met my wife.
Oh.
So yeah, we met in Hawaii,
Hmm.
and her family is all here in Arizona. So since graduating, we all kind of relocated here to Arizona.
I love that. That is so neat. That was going to be my last surprise question, but we'll get back to that one later.
Okay.
So, you've tied a lot of your story already into one of the pillars of Move Happy is about mindset, of course, with our mood and happiness levels and whatnot. You've done already a lot of things. Would you say that as far as tips and strategies for maybe someone that's struggling with keeping a positive mindset, would you say like family has been like your support system has been a huge part of that, or are there other things that other advice that you could give?
Yeah, I think my family has been a huge part of that. And for me, it's kind of like I feel like I have a really awesome legacy of my parents, but even beyond that to my grandparents. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I remember my grandfather growing up would take me on drives to go places and stuff and would talk to me and give me just, a 30-minute thing of life advice. And
Oh,
he said, if there's one thing you do every single day, he's like, I don't do it, so I'm a hypocrite, but you have to meditate every single day.
really?
Yeah, my grandpa he used to be a lawyer. He had a law firm, really smart
Mm-hmm.
guy, just likes
Mm-hmm.
to research books all day long. So
Mm-hmm.
really smart guy, but that was his really big piece of life advice that he tried to impart onto me, which I'm not
Wow.
perfect at, but I very frequently meditate and have
Yeah.
a very I know that's a very big support thing within myself that I have,
Yep.
right? Like
Yeah.
we have these external things like family is really powerful.
Yep.
Being married now, it's more my spouse and my parents, but
Mm-hmm.
beyond an external person, you can find a lot of support within yourself through
Yes.
meditation as well.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, and we'll get into your affirmations in a little bit. And you honestly talked on the second pillar, which is about community, our social network, who we associate with, whether it's family, friends, is a huge part of our mood. Could make it for the better or could make it for the worse if we're hanging around negative Nellies or not hanging around anybody. For those that might be struggling, maybe they don't come from, I would say a blessed background of having a strong family support network. What are some tips maybe you could give in connecting with others, whether it's friends or, creating their own kind of family, if you will?
Totally. Yeah, no, I think it's really important. Honestly, like the way I reached out to you, I think it's definitely something that you have to work for. Like you have
Yeah.
to put a lot of effort into creating like a really strong network of amazing people. But there's so many amazing people out there, and all it
Yeah.
takes is think about what kind of people do you like to be surrounded by, and
Mm-hmm.
look for the areas that those people like congregate or go, or the things
Yeah.
they do, and then just integrate yourself and reach out to them. I think like it's really easy nowadays to go reach out to people on LinkedIn if you're kind of like an entrepreneur or into that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
Mm-hmm.
into a lot of self-development, you can find different people on Instagram, and reach out to them that way. Like, yeah, I literally found, your Instagram and sent you an email, and
Mm-hmm.
do that to a lot of different people. I remember in college, I was really interested in, I thought I wanted to work for Google. So
Mm-hmm.
I went on LinkedIn and I just looked at like whoever my connections were that had went, or no, I looked at anyone that had went to the same school as me, like in the
Okay.
past, and that worked at Google. And I sent them all a message and said, hey, I would love, to ask you some questions,
Mm-hmm.
about, your work experience, whatever. And this can apply to a lot of things beyond like
Yeah.
work, right? You can message people on Instagram that you
Mm-hmm.
influencers or people that you feel like you would relate with or be friends with, and say,
Yeah.
hey, I love what you're doing. I'd love to ask you questions about it.
Yeah.
And then doing that led me to doing an internship, and then
Yeah.
when I did that at school, the guy was like, hey, if you want a job at Google, I can get you a guaranteed interview. I never ended up wanting to work at Google, but that is, I think, a beautiful pathway. You can build your community. It takes effort. You have to, take steps and outreach, but you can totally do that.
Yeah, no, and I think what you're saying is super powerful. So I really hope that people heard what you just said. I made a decision. I wanted to connect and work at Google. So I reached out to those I already was connected to that also worked at Google. You were super intentional and specific about it. And then you had the opportunity to change your mind, which is okay. We change our mind sometimes in life. We go through, different paths, but I think we can apply and transfer that to building friendships, to building networks, to, whether it's for business or pleasure or whatnot, really being intentional with who we choose to associate with. So thank you for that. I think that's really practical advice. Now, the third pillar of Move Happy, of course, is movement related. My goal, my mission is really to help people find happiness from within. And a huge proponent of that, I do believe, is daily movement, doing things that you actually enjoy, that make you feel good, that you lose track of time. So what is it for you that you enjoy doing that move, as far as moving your body, sport, physical activity, dance, anything?
Right now, I am actually training for a marathon. I will say I'm perhaps not the best trainer because I kind of have like a schedule of how much I have to run each week.
Yeah.
I'm not incredibly consistent. So pretty much I'm increasing 1 mile every week. And so I'm supposed to do like a little bit more every time. But a lot of times I only end up making it to the gym once a week. And so I just every week it's just like a cold start. I got to do a whole mile more.
Okay.
But I, I'm getting a little bit better. But yeah, I think for me it's running. It's really therapeutic. Growing up in Canada as a kid, we were right next to a kind of a mountain with a bunch of trails, and I would run the trails every single day in the freezing cold of winter. And like if I ever felt stressed or anxious, back then I probably didn't even know what anxiety was or what that was. But like feeling that it was running for me and being out in nature that would help me a lot. So I carry that through with me today.
I love that. I can definitely connect and relate to that as well. I got into running when I was 14 and definitely not, distances for sure, speed, not so much, but I knew that it made me happier at the end of it.
Totally.
So I can definitely connect with that. And I think a lot of our listeners and watchers of the show on YouTube can appreciate that as well. We can chat after the show as far as if you need some support with your consistency in not skipping those gym workouts. Now, okay, so we talked about the pillars. What I really want, and my whole show is really to edify my guests. I love sharing good, powerful stories. And so we haven't talked specifically yet about this app. So let's talk a little bit about the app that you developed, the story behind it. I know you mentioned Spotify on the phone call. Was that the first initial? Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about SelfPause and the beginning of it before you actually launched the app.
Yeah. So originally, like I said, I've always had positive affirmations, positive stuff has been part of my life.
Yeah.
So it wasn't anything new, but when I was at school, and my wife was pregnant with our first child, there's a huge change. It's a lot to take in. So she had a lot of anxiety and stress and whatnot associated with pregnancy. And so she was talking to a friend who recommended these affirmation meditations for pregnant people that you could listen to. And, so she came to me, she's like, hey, can I buy these or whatever? And we were super poor at the time. They were really expensive. And of course, like, I'm not going to say no to my pregnant wife who's doing this amazing thing. And so I'm like, of course, you can buy them or whatever.
Smart man.
So and they were literally just MP3 files that she downloaded onto her phone. They're kind of hard to go through her, downloads folder to get them. But she absolutely loved them. And I was blown away because I'd never done affirmation meditations before. I had affirmation mantras that I said to myself frequently when times are hard or whatever, that were just my thing. But I'd never done the affirmation meditations before. And I was blown away by how much they helped her. She gained confidence. She was super excited to have the baby and for all of the things that went along with it. And she, had full trust in her body. She was able to do everything. She listened to them every morning, and at nighttime she would put them on while we were going to bed. So I got to listen to them all with her.
Yeah.
You have to listen to them. I was like, all right. But yeah, seeing how much those helped her, I was like, these are super cool. And I bet this would help other people as well in other areas. So I recorded a whole bunch of affirmation meditations in different areas for like business and sports and teachers and dads and moms, like a whole bunch. And I put it on Spotify. I had no idea what if people would listen to it, but I was just like, she liked it. I'll
just try it out. Yeah.
And I had a brother that was making music on Spotify. So I kind of, watched him do the process. So yeah, I put a bunch of stuff on Spotify, and I was blown away by the positive feedback and the amount of people that were listening to it. In the first few months, we got up to like 50,000 monthly listeners. And I was like, this is amazing.
So dope. Yeah.
People love this. And so super cool. But the thing with Spotify and with YouTube is that it's like one piece of content you can consume. They're just not very customizable. So like, if you don't like the voice, then that sucks because, or if you don't like the music in the background, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not going to listen to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So we were like, my wife, who's studying computer science at the time, and looking at making apps, she made a couple little apps for some classes. She was like, it'd be super cool if we made an app for the affirmations.
Yeah.
Have different voices people would change out depending on their preferences, and you can put different music in the background and different nature sounds. And then as well as with affirmations, what's super, super powerful is being able to record your own personalized affirmations and hear your own voice, And so we're like, if we could incorporate that into the app, it'd be super cool. So how we got started on the whole journey with the app, it was all from
I love that.
Those affirmations she got.
That is so cool. So when you were uploading to Spotify, did you create your own affirmations, or were these like things that you found online? Like,
I think a lot of them at the time, I probably just Googled like business affirmations. And then I think I tried customizing them all. So they weren't like, I wasn't just reading a script of someone else's.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they were all based a lot on other people's stuff, because I hadn't been like, an affirmation writer today. For our app, my wife writes all of the affirmations. She's written like, I think we looked at the word count, and it's the equivalent of like a couple novels that she's written now worth of affirmations. And she sits there, spends an hour a day or every couple days, and constantly compiles more. And she's been doing it for a couple years now. So
what a win-win. She gets fed spiritually and mentally, and then she gets to share that with whoever is on the app. So I'm excited for those that, haven't gotten this app yet. How do they get it? What is it called? Like, let's do the promo right now.
So the app is called SelfPause. It is an app that lets you write and record your own affirmations for free. Anyone can do that. And then you can put different music or background sounds in there, meditate to your own affirmations. And then we have a whole bunch of professionally recorded affirmations that you can upgrade and get a monthly subscription to access that whole library. And then as well, there is affirmation notifications that those are free as well. You can set the app up to send you affirmation notifications throughout the day. And those can be things, we send you one every day from us, but people can write their own. So personally, I have 3 big goals, 3 big affirmations that I have that come up every day for me. And they kind of help me refocus on that and remember to work towards them.
I love that. I am super excited. I am going to download it after this show. I do have a question from someone that's maybe about to download it, just curiosity wise. If you're playing an affirmation, does it go through the list of them, or does it repeat that same one like a mantra over and over again? Or are you able to create your own playlist?
Yeah, you can pretty much, you can write a whole bunch of affirmations and record them all, and you can play them all, and you can loop them if you want to, or just you can let it play through at once, or you can have it just continuously go. Music will just keep playing in the background.
Cool. Yeah, I'm super excited. Oh, that is so cool. And I want to hear your wife's too. Like, let's all get the premium platinum version of it. Let's talk pricing, because I know people are probably curious. What does it cost? I feel like it was pretty affordable when we chatted last.
It's $6.49 a month.
Yeah, that's a steal.
Yeah, and it's $48 for the annual subscription for it as well.
48. Okay. So everybody should sign up and sign their friends up for Christmas for the annual one.
Yes, it's an awesome way to, like, number one, I think especially with New Year's coming, and really focus on what you want to do and who you want to be
Absolutely.
this New Year's. It's an awesome way to get started on that, and then to kind of spread that out to your friends and help them have some more positivity in their life too. So
I
it's
love
pretty
that.
cool.
I love that. I know we talked about doing an exchange, but I'm going to pay for my year because I really believe in what you're doing. And I think everybody else should as well. And I'm excited to create my own too. I don't know if you knew that I have a book called Whole Life Affirmations, but I wrote a bunch of affirmations during the year. I went through a divorce, and it was just very cathartic for me. I watched a free webinar online on how to get a book published, on Amazon and whatnot. And someone had introduced me not even that long before that, maybe the year before, through a direct sales company that I was associated with. She's actually the lady that introduced me to Affirmations. It's going to be on the show in a few weeks here.
Very cool.
But I learned it late in life. So maybe someone is just hearing about affirmations through this show right now. It can completely transform your world. I am curious, going back to the story of listening to your wife in the evening play these affirmations in bed. What did it do for you to listen to them? Did it shift anything in you?
Yeah. So honestly, I think growing up, I had a lot of negative associations with pregnancy.
Really?
Well, because my mom, she had really, really rough pregnancies. Like, if she was pregnant, it pretty much meant she laid on the on the couch and barfed for. Like, she had really. I think in retrospect, she had like maybe preeclampsia or things like that, but she didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Or ways to treat it or anything. So she just thought, anyways. So it was really. So when my wife was first pregnant, it was definitely like, we were really excited, but I was like
terrified.
I was preparing myself for months of her, on the couch dying. Yeah. So she actually did have a not that difficult. Well, I mean, all pregnancies are difficult. I can't but it wasn't that level. It
wasn't as bad.
Suffering or whatever.
That's good.
And listening to those affirmations for me really actually alleviated a lot of my stress, and was like, she can do this. Like, she was made for this. She's completely capable. And so, a lot of confidence, and helped me out a lot too as well.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Yeah. When I first got connected to the affirmations, I had through that direct sales company, someone I think was in the business or something. I connected to somebody on Facebook, and they were doing this research project at their university on the power of affirmations, and they were looking for people to be a part of it. And I was like, okay, like, I'll do it. And so a part of the study was to they gave us the affirmation, so I didn't create my own for it. It was like 5 or 6 of them all around the house. It was for body image and like diet and like healthy eating, healthy balance, whatnot. And I was like, oh yeah, that's totally in my wheelhouse. So I taped them all over my house. Well, I had a roommate at the time, and he told me, I read the affirmations every single day. It makes me feel better reading them on my way out to work. And I was like, wow, I never even thought about the impact that it could have on someone else that's in the room. So that's why I was curious about the impact of these affirmations for your wife, and how they helped impact you as well. So I'm a huge proponent of affirmations. So
I think they can have a positive impact, like, on yourself, which if you're happier, more positive, is on all the people around you. But then people see them or hear them or listen to them as well. Definitely very powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're seeing them now. Like, I don't know if you've seen any commercials. I saw there was like an internet or like cell phone commercial the other day, and they're like, I am strong, I am powerful, I use this internet, and it's like everybody is using them now. Like, get on this bandwagon, step up to the plate, download SelfPause, hit the premium order. Like, you're doing great work.
It's a huge thing that people are kind of waking up and realizing how powerful they are, and how much we need them now, especially, post-COVID or during COVID, as a lot of people struggled with mental health and things like that. It's a huge way that a lot of studies, like you were talking about, are starting to come out and show how powerful and beneficial they can be. And I mean, we see with, like, even within like just meditation, right? There's like Calm and Headspace, who are both like, billion-dollar companies that are huge in the meditation space that are out there. And, we believe that affirmations are such a positive tool as well. To not just meditate to alleviate like stress or anxiety, but to really find what is the root cause of your stress or your anxiety. So on the app, we have 15 different categories, and we're always adding more, things like finances and relationships and self-love. So it's like, what causes you stress and anxiety? Is it your relationships? Is it your finances? And so really looking at those things and helping you go to the root cause of those problems to become the best version of yourself in whatever area of your life. So it really gets the root cause of your stress or anxiety.
I love that. I'm excited to download it and get started on this app. You've definitely switched in my mind. Like I don't, even though we're on this, a bunch of tech and everything, I really don't associate myself as like a huge tech person. Those are some things that I am going to work on, creating some affirmations to change that. Cause I definitely have learned a lot in a short amount of time, but I'm excited to get on this app and share it with my friends and family. Cause I think what you're doing is a huge positive thing, and we need more people to be downloading it. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. Absolutely. I always love to close up the show with a fun random question. And you kind of already told a little bit of the question I was going to ask. I was going to ask how you met your wife. So now I'm going to ask a little bit different story. How did you propose to your wife? Is that okay? Is that on the table?
Question. Yeah. Okay. So I, obviously when people tell me like, or when I hear about people that are like, oh, they propose and then she says like, no, to me, I'm just like, okay, you're obviously doing something seriously wrong with me, because this should not be a surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, you might want the element of surprise, but anyways, yeah, we'd obviously discussed marriage and stuff, and we were both like, it wasn't like a surprise. So we knew that's where we want to move and stuff. And so I had ordered a ring, and it secretly came one day. We went to like the mail to check the mail. Actually ordered it online, and I got it, and I was really excited, not trying not to act super excited. I remember what I told her. I guess it probably isn't good. I probably lied to her and told her like I had some issues with my laptop, and I was like, I have to go to the Apple store in town.
Of course.
Go get my laptop fixed, but you want to come with me? We could go do some fun things in town while we're at it. And she's like, okay, sure. So I was really trying to make sure she didn't know what was going on. So we go, we lived on the North Shore in Hawaii, and it's about an hour drive to like Honolulu, main airport and everything there. And so on the way there's a place called Spitting Cave. So it's like a giant cliff overlooking the ocean, and there's a cave in the cliff. So when the water comes into the cave, it goes roof of the mouth and spits out. So it's like this kind of big explosion. A lot of people go cliff jumping there and stuff like that. And it's super, super pretty, really beautiful. And so I was like, oh, we're kind of in the area of Spitting Cave. Like we might as well just stop by, like I'll planned out ahead of time. So we go there and we're looking around. We're like, wow, it's so beautiful. And like my goal was I was gonna be like, oh, we should get a picture and find someone to take a picture and then propose.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, we should get a picture. I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess.
Yeah, that's great.
She's like, well, why don't you ask that lady over there to take a picture for us? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, okay. So this is perfect. So got a lady to go take the picture, and I was like, just push the record button. And she's like, oh, okay, sure. And so she's there, and we're like pretend to take a couple pictures, and then, I just have like one more picture. And so then I got down on one knee.
Awesome.
She was like surprised. I mean, she knew like it was coming, but had no idea.
She didn't know when. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Videotaping us was just like bawling and crying.
Oh. You're like, can I edit that sound in the background out?
But no, it was awesome. So I proposed on the top of that, and then I was like, so do you want to like go cliff jumping? We could like jump in to celebrate. She didn't want to do that, so we didn't go cliff jumping after. But
that is so neat. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been super fun. Definitely need to have you guys both back for a follow-up session down the road, just to see how your journey is going and see how SelfPause is growing. I'm excited to see where this goes for you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, we'd love that. We're super excited and happy about the amazing work that you're doing, your book, your podcast, all your pillars and your whole program. So it's amazing to connect with people like yourself that are making such a positive impact in the world. And it really makes us excited too, to be able to network with awesome people like yourself.
Thank you.